Hello YouTube for the first time. This is just kind of a little test video just to see what I can pull off. If it's good, I'll post it. So what we have here is something that I tend to play with. Basically this is Alumilite with a ribbon that I picked up at surplus after Halloween. Oh, there's a rubber band. So to look at it, this piece right here doesn't really match too much. So this is kind of what we're going to work with. As far as the other pieces are concerned, they have a nice colors and pretty cool, especially when it's glow in the dark. So this minus this top piece, which isn't used for anything, set that to the side. I'll actually get 3 other knife handles out of this. But that's not what we're talking about today. So this piece right here basically isn't going to be matched to anything. So what I'm going to go through and do is take some material from this and actually marry it. So what I'm going to try to do, if I cut this in half, that's going to give me the first front part of the handle material. And then I'm going to cut the end pieces out of here so that you'll have a contrast between the front and the back. And then I'm going to use some of the G10 liner material as a backing to help hold it together, as well as a spacer in between so that it actually has some separation. So we'll get along with the journey. So first thing we're going to do, this piece right here, we're going to snap it in half. There, all snapped apart now. So now we got to figure out how much of this we're going to want here. So typically you want the smaller portion to be about halfway between the first and second pin, or second or third pin, depending how you look at it. So we're going to do, move this here, we're going to figure out how do we want this to fit. So I'm thinking about there. Now what we're going to do is try to keep everything square. So about length, about there. So if we got 1.5 inches, we've got about 3 inches. And then we'll do the same over here. Okay, so now I have those pieces cut. Now let's get this one cut. Okay, now that this is all nice and cut, these pieces you can pull out of here. So to keep, because I like the pattern on this side better than this side, what we're going to do is I think I'm going to do scales kind of like this. Actually, let me make sure this one's actually thick enough. So that's how that's going to end up, about there. Take this end piece off. So this will be coming off here. These pieces are actually glow in the dark, so this will be kind of cool when it's all finished. So now, move this back up here. These are G10. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand these down with 80 grit sandpaper, and I'm going to cut the different pieces, and then I'll show you how I put those pieces in here. And due to the fact this is the first one, I'm probably going to miss a few steps. So I'll take care of some stuff, and then I'll be right back. Okay, we have the G10 pieces are cut out from pieces that were here. Used some 36 grit sandpaper, and what I've done, as you can see, the black is all scraped up. The reason for that is I want to actually increase surface area so the glue has more to adhere to. So the plan is to take these smaller white ones and basically glue them like this, and then, well, actually, let me rephrase that. I'm going to glue it together like this, and I'm going to have an overhang on the back side. So you can see what I'm going to do is, after I glue this with CA glue, and I'll have a little bit on the front, I'll actually sand this flat so that this will no longer protrude. Once I've done that, I'll actually glue these two together like this, and then I'm going to go through and take this one, and I'm going to visually verify that they are actually flat and stuck together. You can actually do this here. They're already pretty well flat. So when this is all done, be like this, and then I'll have the bottom one stuck in place like that. Before I do that though, what I'm going to do is to keep these together. So I know this is 2 inches, that's 2 inches, and so this gives me my alignment. And I want to make sure that I'm about there. What I'm going to do, circle 1, and this one's going to be an X. So I'll get those gluing. Talk later. Okay, so we're back. Got the 2 little pieces. These are still marked with yellow. So first we're going to do is put some glue on here, stick this, use the accelerator to set it. I'll do that for both of them real quick here. Only takes a little bit. Set that there. You get the feel for it, kind of, it's flat. I'm trying to get too much of this. That. Okay. So the big thing is we have material to be removed. We'll do the other one real quick here. That's a little too much, but okay, getting all nice and flat. Okay. Now, what I'm going to do is send this back side so it's flush. So that when this fits here, I can actually show you here real quick. I'll set this on here. And what I'll do is I'll match this up, glue it, stick it, match up the X, glue it. Oh, it's going to be a little bit over. Huh. So I'll have to set it like this. Cool. I'll get those sanded down, and then we'll show you the next step for gluing. Okay, so this is sanded now, all nice and smooth. So the other thing with sanding this down, I actually want to sand this a little bit with 80 grit sandpaper just to rough it up, gives them more, again, more surface texture to adhere to. So looking at the knife, we're going to want to do it about here. That gives the line here. So I was looking at previous, I actually want this to overhang a little bit. I want to match the back up with this. So this is where fitting everything comes in. So we're going to get some CA glue here. Put a bit on there. Again, X. And what I'm going to do is put this on first and let it sit to the back. So I try to get coverage as much as I want. Oh no. And that is already sticking. We might have a problem here. Okay, how am I going to deal with this? Let's just run everything down. This might be more of a problem than I realized. Oh, it's already setting. Ouch. Yep, that's already setting up. Well, that's how it's going to be. So it's going to be a question now when we put this onto this handle, if that glue got up into here. But, so that's going to be interesting. So it's seeing it all the way up in here. I wonder if it wicked up on its own. I doubt it. I'm not that hopeful. Okay, so let me get a towel, wipe this up. Part of the reason for using the duct tape, that's already set up, wow, is this is a piece of UHMW, nothing sticks to it. It really does a really good job of not sticking to anything. So again, let's kind of prep what we want. Put that there, that's going to be lined up about there. Okay, so instead, I'm just going to put glue over the whole thing, set one on and set the other. See how this goes. Okay. I wanted this one first. Set them on there. Get off the glue a little bit. So this is more of what I actually expected. A little accelerator. Got a little bit of glue up here. That tells me it's all the way up into here. Sides. Looks good. And this one, because it's set, I want to put a bead of glue right here. Just because I want to make sure that it actually seeped down into there. And it's probably going to set up here on its own here real quick. Okay, so next step, I'm going to drill the holes, match this up to here, and then start cutting. Cool. Actually, let's set this here. There. Okay, figure out the next step here. Okay, just a quick change here. So I actually replaced the duct tape that was on my board here because of the CA glue that had stuck on there and hardened. It's no longer really kind of flat-ish. Also went through and sanded down the sides here, removed it in here. This is going to help us to see what we're doing when we actually stick to this one here, because we know they're the same length. That way it gives us a little bit of angle for the glue to come into. So we're going to do the same we did before. Put some CA glue on here. And I swear this G10 actually sets the CA glue to some extent. Because all you got to do is hold it here. I can see a little bit of the CA glue here on the side. A little bit right here. That tells me it's squishing out. Let's move this stuff over here. Do a quick set. That should start setting the glue if it isn't set already. So the inner side, you can see we're off just a tick, not much. And the main body of the knife is going to be about right there anyways. So now we have a black, white layer with a white liner in between. Now let's do the same for here. Set this up, kind of roughly what we want. Oops, this stuff's pretty thin, so it will move. There we go. So I can see a little bit of CA glue coming here, a little bit here. Now I'm just going to hold some pressure down. And that should be about it. Okay, so next we're going to do is, actually I'm going to sand this ridge down a bit more. Hopefully I don't get rid of the exits in here. So I might mark these a little bit differently, put the X here now that they're lined up. And then I want to have a flat surface on the bottom side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, check this out. Yep. So when I set this on the drill press, I'm going to have it like this. Well, no, the first one I'm going to do like this. Get that lined up roughly where I want it. Drill the holes. And once these holes are drilled this way, then I'm going to take this off. Set these two and line. Make sure that this line is lined up. Actually, that one's slightly off. So I want to move this back and forth to make sure these things are lined up. What I'll do is I'll clamp one side and then drill the holes to match on both sides. So I'll do that real quick. And some of the stuff I'll show you in a different video. I'm really not set up. This is literally the first attempt, so bear with me.